Track hearing is How the Sun, Ministry of Truth. Holy shit, I didn't actually realise until we looked at the lyrics properly that this is actually probably about the Trump administration back in 2016. Jesus Christ. It's actually kind of crazy. It's about how he portrays himself, it seems, because it's about obviously how the TV presents his message and how it essentially empowered him. And now, because he essentially won the election back then, again I could be wrong on this, it seems like he's holding us hostage, which is obviously part of the lyrics. And it's just an insanely clever song and obviously quite heavily political to an extent without being specifically about politics. Because this can also be about the way TV presents itself, the way it's sold out to, again, certain oligarchs or whatever. It really depends, but you know that's probably what's happening here and what the song is about. I think it's somewhat of a relevant and important song too. But there was one that Health Song did recently in the most recent album as well, which was specifically about the President of the United States. So after 2024. Yeah, it's quite an interesting track. Instrumentally, it's quite fascinating to just see like slow down into chaos, and then the amount of like guitar sections are pretty insane. Also, just love how they're composed and also the tones used. It's insanely good. I also really like this track, and yeah, I think other parts of the lyrics that really show us about politics is a like patriotic gambit. It's one of the lyrics in the background lyric rather. The hell's aplomb? Lead with trust and aplomb. I'd never heard of that word. What does that mean? Uh, what does aplomb? Fuck. Get distracted. What does aplomb mean? Self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation. Okay. Strange, I've never heard of that word. Ever. So yeah. Skies and Liberty solves us protection fraudulent watching over us. Agony committee, not angry. That's a C for me. Chauvinistic TV. Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's just about those two. It's like TV and politics. So yeah. Also, I guess in a way, I guess it's about how it's rigged against you as well. Like the situation, like who was the other person? Wasn't it Hillary Clinton, the other president? I supposed to be president. Like yeah, like you don't really hear much from, I guess, President Sarge's or her rather. Like it's weird because you don't hear much from the opposition or the Democratic Party when someone like Trump or the Republicans get in, and I've just noticed that pattern over time. It seems to be a bit of a marketing issue and push issue as well. There's not enough happening. You know, in the UK, we have the problem with UK politics, with Reform being another fascist party that hopes to become the Conservatives and fuck us over again. Well, that's just objectively what they want to do. I'm not making this up. It's not my quote unquote liberal or what they call it socialist views coming out. This is literally rooted in evidence. You can see their ties to Russia. You can see the bullshit that they spout and also the things they refuse to address. So yeah, anyway. With enough, this whole song talk is pretty relevant for that as well. You know, it's literally patriotism disguised. Yeah, but they're using patriotism to disguise rather ulterior motive, which is money, and obviously Russia as well. Yeah, it's shitty. Anyway, let's move on to the first topic. I didn't mean for this to become a topic itself, but because it's about politics, it probably will. Let's move on. Alright, it's high time I need to talk about South Park. Season 25, Streaming Wars, and Season 26, period. Yeah, just standard business. Nothing new here. I think my overall impression is, I'd say it's gone better in some ways, but worse in others. Just my conclusion of it is still good, which is surprising to say, given that most other shows that have been around this long don't really age that well. At least when they go into the future stuff, Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy. But they will turn out a bit crappy in the end when it gets to real new stuff. It's always been sort of a mixed bag when it comes to the quality of content and even sometimes the quantity. That has been an issue as well, but not as bad. Well, actually, it's bad. The quantity has been too much at times, and even then, there's sometimes not enough. That's a weird thing about it. So let's go through what I thought of each episode, starting from 25, season 25, episode 1. It's an okay episode, goofy and fun, but not much happening. It's pajama day. Certainly has some interesting moments. Episode 2, The Big Fix. It's actually a pretty good episode because I didn't even realise that his name was that. I saw it in the subtitles and thought, well, they called him by that other name, and he's even wrote his name like that, so I'm a bit confused, but it sort of makes sense that they'd change it for sure, because it sort of removes the connotations from it, I guess, negative connotations, whatever. I did initially think his name was essentially a joke for, well, what that means, tokenism. But I don't know. It's a good episode though. I really liked it. Because it also calls out people like fucking, you got me caught. Episode 3. This is actually a very good episode. Very funny. It's about city people. I just love that they have these fucking phrases like "come fuck on." It's hilarious. I did like it, and also I think it had a satisfying ending, didn't it? Can't remember actually. I know Eric moved, technically speaking, but was that the end choice? I can't remember. Episode 4. It was a very good episode. Got a bit of everything in this one. Also, it's just funny. It's got a bit of humour, a lot of humour rather. Sort of a meaning too. It's actually quite an interesting episode of all things, but fucking horses, I swear. Fuck's sake. I'd also just love the sort of nostalgia vibe to it as well. The whole thing with Mr. Mackey is brilliant. I did really like that. And then there's episode 5, which was also very good. Fucking love the Jimbo appearance in this. And then finally we end off the series with season series. I can't remember. Keep fucking it up. It's like 20th time or so. Episode 6. So it was a good episode. Very strange ending, but very comedic, I guess. It's a typical South Park shit. So yeah, overall a good season. I think it's probably one of the best ones in my opinion. Even though there are probably some better in the earlier ones, but still, it's good. Then we go on to Streaming Wars, which are the 2 specials that aired somewhere, somehow. Not sure how exactly, because it's not on the website, but it is listed as a special. So it's obviously separate from the others, a bit like post-COVID was. Part 1 was definitely good. I wouldn't say it's amazing, like season 25 was. But it's definitely good. It's worth a watch. It's kind of funny and interesting. And then there's part 2, which was very good. I think that's a good way to end that sort of series. Oh my fucking god, Eric in this one. Just, yeah. Just, it's brilliant. You have to see it, and even though it's sort of a. Well, I would say it's a little transphobic in a way, it doesn't really matter all that much, because I really think the problem is just critiquing that I think people view this as something that actually happens, and it makes fun of that idea. Like the Board Girls episode, which a lot of people misinterpreted, it seems. But yeah, it's good either way. And then we go on to season 26. I said season 6 or something. 26, episode 1. Let me get the thing up. Some stupid drop down list on the site doesn't work properly. QPD. Yeah, this was kind of funny. I did find this a funny gimmick. It's a good episode though, I think. Right, is it? Yeah, good no, wait, it's episode 2. Yeah, good episode 1. Yeah, it's a good way to start, for the most part. It's about TikTok, briefly, anyway. It's not the biggest focus on it. But QPD is just fucking something else. The entire story of that is just dumb. Episode 2, the worldwide privacy tools. A good episode for the most part. It's about brands and personality, essentially. Personality as brands, you know. Sort of bullshit. Yeah, trying to think what else happens. Can't remember. There's episode 3, which is a good episode. It seems like it's critiquing our use of toilet paper, which is good, because I think we need to phase that shit out now, or never. Speaking of which, I am in the works of getting a fucking bidet. It feels necessary. Yeah, this episode was certainly interesting, for the most part. And then episode 4, which I made a separate thingy about, so you can watch that in the previous topic. Wait, did I save it? Yeah, I think I did actually, yeah. I remember now. I was trying to remember what the thing is. It's weird how a memory can be trying to remember something. That's so dumb. What the fuck is our brain? Are you kidding me? Even AI couldn't think that up. Then episode 5, it was a good episode. It's certainly entertaining in its own way. Definitely like the name, and then the fucking ending is just, yeah, you can expect that. Nothing less from South Park. It's good. And then finally we end it with episode 6, which is good as well. I would say it's the best one, but it definitely is entertaining, to say the least. But, you know, this gets better ratings, honestly, per episode than Modern Simpsons did anyway. I hate to say it, but literally it is. And surprisingly, this is the only show that I've seen in my lifetime that's aged that well. I've even seen shorter series as become bad, and it's just like, yeah, most notably Game of Thrones, but that was probably due to the lack of a book that could have explained the ending. And maybe George R. Martin, his obsession with penises, but that's another story. But anyway, it's a good series, good season, good series as well. It's definitely getting somewhere now, and given now I'm on to the next movie actually, which I need to look at. Where is it? Apparently the Panderverse is next, and then NS4C, and End of Obesity. Okay, I'm not sure what those are. Yeah, I'll have to get to those somehow. Get those somehow. So far, so good. That's one of the best things I could say about the show. Then when I do the full review, I'll see sort of reference moments throughout, and just do that. I'm not going to do a stupid drawing this time. Oh, fucking hell. So yeah, let's move on. I don't know how I haven't talked about this, but I guess I can. I never got onto the fad of energy drinks, and at most I used to have a Lucasade or two when I was ill at school. Well, whilst I was in school, not in school, but ill off school. Fuck, I could have worded that so much better. But it's a weird thing. But yeah, we had like a Lucasade in the UK, which is a type of energy drink we have. It's not like the ones we have now, but yeah, those are the only ones I ever fucking touched. And they're nice actually. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it actually had a good flavour. Good flavour. Um but I find it interesting when it's like the thing with energy drinks. For some reason people think they need it, but I never actually needed it. It's really weird. I just can't get along with things that have caffeine or just extra things inside it. It's always a bit weird to me because it just doesn't work. And on top of that, even though it doesn't work, it does affect my body in some way. In a negative way, for that matter. Where it just makes me feel very fucking what do you call it? Well, it keeps me awake, basically, that's the problem. It's a typical thing with energy drinks, and I just never really got on with it for that. It just seems so strange to me, the fact that this can even happen. Yeah, so I've always struggled with fucking caffeine and stuff, and on top of that, insomnia. So two things that really don't go well together. And even though I'm generally fine with caffeine now, it still has some problems. I need to use energy in order for the caffeine to sort of get rid of itself from my system. For example, I've had a Coca-Cola today, and I don't know if that's going to affect me or not. It's kind of hard to say, but I only know around bedtime. It's just when I put my head on the pillow and I feel not tired. If I'm yawning before bed, that doesn't even mean anything. That's the strangest thing about this. Ever since childhood, I've always struggled to sleep. It's not really been a, I say an instant, like severe stress, which does cause it. It just always seems to happen every now and then. I can't really put my finger on what it is. It's like insomnia or something. And I don't really understand how I keep getting this. How I keep getting fucking insomnia. That's why I just don't get onto like the crazes around energy drinks. And yes, with enough, it's ties to a South Park episode. I wasn't going to mention it, but it's not an episode. It's actually a special. Not suitable for children. It's called. And you know, yeah, it tackles two topics here, and I'm not finished it yet, but it's already interesting. OnlyFans and Grit, or what is known as the popular energy drink, hydration drink, Prime. I've seen them everywhere, and they just look so shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's just there isn't anything about them that makes it special in any way. It's not even like a badge of honour, and it sort of reminds me of childhood when I have to bring this up. School rather, not just childhood but school. It also just reminds me of that and how there was essentially zero fucks given in school with regards to the these sort of things like influencers or energy drinks. Like it wasn't really much of a thing. You know, smartphones were more of a thing in 2009, I'd say, and social media became more popular around 2013, 2013 rather. So it just never really happened back then. Possibly different now. I don't know for sure if it is, but I think it's important to highlight that. Um, back then, all it was essentially was people just following their own preference. That was it. We had like typically two or three groups in schools, other than like it was per gender, obviously. Like girls hang out with girls and boys hang out with boys usually. And we sometimes had girls in our group. That's fine. But like any sort of girls that were like extremely tomboyish, but some were, which was great. Yeah, it certainly showed me how gender identity had changed. Um, yeah, I definitely had a tomboyish girl in that group, which is actually fucking great. Um, but we are more into things that she wasn't, which is like Transformers. Yes, still popular back then, but it's because of the Michael Bay movies and because of, oh, what's her fucking name? Megan Fox, I think that was her name. See, everyone got boner for her. That's basically what happened there. Um, yeah, it's just typical teenage behaviour. But it's mainly for the Transformers though, like that was the coolest thing. We knew what the Transformers were based on. The Starscream is an F-22 Raptor. I know Blitzwing, I think it is based on an A10 Thunderbolt. Probably my personal favourite Pokemon. No, Transformer. Fuck. It's just when Pokemon a Transformer. Or Transformers a Pokemon. But that was our thing. Like, that was it. And we were also around YouTube. We got into PewDiePie, we got into animations and TF2G mods and stuff. We had our own thing. And the other groups in the school, however, were like into completely different things. So it'd be like football or sports or something. And you know, that's sort of the great thing about that. For the most part, we were respected. We respected each other, like, tried not to get into each other's way. Sometimes there were fights, but it was quite rare. I remember one being quite significant and causing my friend to almost lose an eye because he'd been fucking bullied, but it was actually by someone, a group of kids in a few years below, which was fucking insane. I don't even know how you're capable of that. He's not a tall guy, but fucking hell. Just absolutely brutal. That happens. It sucks I wasn't there to deal with that because I guarantee they wouldn't have stood a chance against me. So yeah, like, again, the other side of the school had like this interest in something else, which obviously was football, and you know that's fine. But I don't think people really need to get onto a trend, especially school kids or people. There's more to worry about in that age. Um, yeah, nobody needs to get onto these trends. They never existed back then, and we were happier for it, from what I could tell anyway. But we really don't need them these days. That's why I find this topic interesting. It's like a mix of everything. You know, I struggled with Insomnia as a kid, and I struggle with it now. And yeah, it's just one frustration upon another. Speaking of which, I don't know why I never tried to get prescription sleeping tablets, but okay. Just a weird thing I noticed. Um, sure. Um, what else is there to add to this? I'm trying to think. Um, think. No, I don't know. I think that's it anyway. So I'll just move on if there is anything I'll add it on to the end. Yeah, obviously energy drinks. I suppose I could talk about that briefly, but I haven't. Energy drinks are just a fucking joke. You don't need them. If anything, you need like a little caffeine, you need like a coffee or something. Not an entire fucking energy drink. It's ridiculous that people feel the need to get this. Unless you suffer with something that keeps you sleepy, that's not really a valid reason to have them, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure that much caffeine, that much energy just isn't good for anyone. I'm almost like 90% certain it's just bad. It's just not good for anyone. Um, yeah, I don't know what to add, but that's it. So let's move on from the topic. So I've got a thing to discuss. Yeah, South Park had free specials. For some reason, one of them isn't showing. What was that? Oh yeah, not suitable for children. I'm guessing they don't want to show it on this place. I don't know. Um, but there's like three different specials with a very relevant message and sort of a very real thing, and I'm going to review these here, and they are very good specials. Very good special episodes, whatever you call them. I don't know why they decided to do them separately. But yeah, it's weird. So what I find interesting about these is they just address some of the more relevant social issues in the world, and I think it's really important. I think, given these issues are quite widespread, they are still relevant even now. It's just crazy. It's like 3 years later, I think it's like 2 years or 1 year. Yeah, I think 1 year, technically speaking. And it's still relevant because a lot of these issues still exist, and people just don't seem to listen, which is frustrating. But let's go through the sort of episodes and movies. Obviously, there'll be a bit of spoilers here, but we'll see. It's gonna take me to just scroll through this. I've got so many notes. Okay, there we go. So after season 26, there is 3 specials. First one joining the Panderverse. Pander, as in pandering. I literally thought it was going to be about fucking this whole cinematic universe to do with the mascots in from the early seasons, like sexual harassment panda. Like, anyone remember that? That was fucking amazing. But it wasn't about that, which is interesting. If you think this special is unique, and it's unique in the sense that it does what a lot of shows are doing and what people think they're doing as well, which is pandering. And they think that shows are pandering to a choir, essentially, or the woke left mob, which is what this entire special is essentially poking fun at. Is the thought that people are specifically making shows and remakes even pander to that. And it's crazy that people actually do believe this, but it shows how stupid it is as well. One of the most clever things in this special, in my opinion, was the fact that this Eric from another universe, where it is essentially a pandered universe in a sense, it's just fucking funny. But she, as Eric is, she in this multiverse, technically, and the real Eric is in the other multiverse where she was. But Carl still treats Eric here like the other Eric, and it shows you that even though you replace the characters with a different actor, different body, for that matter, a different gender, whoever, different race as well, it shows they're still the same. Honestly, that's genius, and I've noticed this in even like a Black Mirror episode called Hotel Reverie, where even though it's probably fake, the Hotel Reverie thing, fake movie, I don't know if it's actually real. But like their point was they wanted to remake an old movie using some up-to-date technology, and they decided to cast a female lead actor role into this, and she's also, I think, black. Is she? I can't remember. It's not racist to point out, but she did a great job in this, and ironically enough, people didn't like it. They didn't like the Black Mirror episode. Well, I liked it because it showed that there wasn't really any difference between the two. You got to see the two side by side, I think it is, at the moments there, which I thought was interesting. And it showed you that really the only difference here is your perspective. It's not to do with recasting the roles or the actors, it's to do with your perspective on them. And really, your perspective is the problem. It's what you're taking an issue with. It's the same way how in the episode of South Park Board Girls, there's that perception that the trans women athletes, whoever they are, can self-identify as women, within like a few weeks and suddenly get into that position. Like, that's literally what people assume happens in these places, in sports, in women's spaces. But that literally isn't what happened. And there was even an episode prior to this where it's more around the PC stuff when they're doing that in South Park. But they're just fucking talking about the trans issues. Well, technically, Eric was like transgender, but it's technically about transgender identity. And I thought it was really interesting how they twisted that. And I think the ending of that was perfect. It literally put all the weirdos in the opposite place. In this like special bathroom that was for trans people first, but then decided it was for people who are just bigoted, who are just not normal, which is interesting. But yeah, like the Panderverse, honestly very good. I think it makes a great point, and also I think you also need to be careful with it as well. No doubt. Um, it's definitely an entertaining one. I do recommend this quite strongly. It's quite good. Um, and it says, what do I say at the end? It makes a good point about the site being woke doesn't make it bad there, literally. Again, look at Eric in this episode, in the first universe, I'll say. I don't know what to call it, South Park universe, or whatever. But then the ending as well, literally puts that in another point. It's like, this is what you see if you're so fucking bigoted. You see really alien shit or really disgusting shit. Like, the ending of this was really good, in all honesty. Um, yeah. Is there anything else? Um, I suppose the other thing was like, it's about like capitalism and how competition breeds more competition. Like, there's literally an entire B plot about this as well, which made it even more interesting. On top of that, and somehow they made the plots coincide at the end of the twist, rather. Um, so anyway, that's good. I recommend it. The next special is Not Suitable for Children, which was actually really good. I really enjoyed this one. It's funny. It's got a good point as well, and it was obviously referencing, well, unfortunately, some douchebags, you know, who just fuck over the internet and fuck over children's lives, essentially, with what they're doing. Although, to be fair, what's that? His brother, I can't remember. But, yeah, I'll refrain from naming names. You could probably guess who it is anyway from the name. But, you know, it's interesting. I definitely like this one because of how it talks about current trends and how people just jump on it, especially children. This is why I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. And it just kind of sucked that that was where the world sort of headed. Um, the world is sort of heading anyway. You know, it's like it's a load of garbage. The fact that influencers are able to have this much power, and it just sucks. Like, come on. Like, this shit needs to get under control, obviously, and for some reason nobody's actually doing that. It's a shame, because I think the world could do with less influencers. Especially these products that come out. Like, I remember going to Asda at some point where I live, and you know, I saw on the fucking chocolate shelves Mr. Beast chocolate, and I was just thinking like, why? The guy's already a fucking millionaire, and he doesn't need this. And especially with as much chocolate as there is out there, what's the fucking point? I genuinely do not see a point. It's just so pointless to have that. So it's just disappointing. Um, so yeah. Um, What else was I going to say? Yeah, with like Mr. Beast and stuff. It does almost feel like a joke, to be honest. The fact that this even happened to begin with. Like, I don't know why I was able to just walk into a supermarket, see this so-called philanthropist YouTuber who I don't know if he even is at this point. Like, there's been so many controversies. Just appearing as a brand in fucking supermarkets. Like, what the hell? That's a scary thing. Literally, this is what the world is becoming. It's like you start your life as a handyman, as the episode is also implying here. Again, spoilers. And when you become popular enough or needed enough, you become a fucking billionaire or something. Like, you get rich and then you get carried away with it. You start investing and you start growing. And then it becomes a problem for all the other competition. Like, if you become mainstream and then it's just, it gets so out of hand. And it's just so frustrating. I don't really get it though. It's so fucking annoying. Um, yeah, the world's, I don't know. I'm not sure what has to be done to make this change. The special player does a very good job of again portraying that, and there's not really much else to say. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, the fucking OnlyFans. Yeah, this again is like another trend. It's like fucking hell. It's just such a joke. Like, the fact that OnlyFans was a thing, and then everyone was just on board with it because they could see their favorite whoever's like in this parasocial relationship doing whatever they fucking want. And I'll admit myself, I've only done that once. I've only had not had an OnlyFans, but been on there to see an OnlyFans account. But that was because I respected the person and also the person related to them. It wasn't necessarily to see them naked, although that was a benefit. It just literally was to show my support. Because it seemed like a decent person at that time, but unfortunately it didn't age well. Oh god. Um, yeah. Also ended up deleting those because it's like, fuck that. Uh, yeah, that's all I gave up on OnlyFans, but it's also just one of those things that's like a trend. You just don't need it in your life, in all honesty. It's a bit of a joke. I'm just gonna say outright. It's not necessary for your well-being to see your favourite people going on to OnlyFans just to do that. You know, even a group I follow called the Oxcast, all things. I'm like 90% sure I saw something about one of the content creators making an OnlyFans. I'm not going to say who, but you know, I respect it. But gooners be gooning. You know, it's your goon squad. Um, it just sucks that there's so many perverts out there, and the only thing I can say that's good about the situation is it gets rid of this really fucking creepy scumbag side of the Yogs community where there are people out there who document every single sexual feature that has happened with the female content creators there, which is just so shit. Like, fuck me. It's so depraved and just sad. It's just such a pointless endeavour as well, let's not forget that. It's unbelievably disgusting. Um, so it's just one frustration on top of another there. Um, yeah, like again, the only fans thing, like my reaction to that with the Ox anyway, is that again I support the idea. Obviously, it's your body, your choice. That applies to everyone. Uh, Again, it sort of leaves me worried. It's like it's almost giving in to what people want, which is not always a good thing. I think it should have come as an afterthought, but either way, it's not going to change now. I don't think. Um, so what else is there? I mean, let's wrap up this special. Yeah, I like the special. It's good. I like how there's this perspective where Sharon gets in on it. Weirdly enough, like yeah, surprising. But Randy was doing it wrong though. It seems, and he was arrested by the FBI. Wonder how he did that. Well, you see, when an adult gets, or a boomer, or not just an adult, just a boomer, gets on the internet, finds a trend, starts pouring credit all over his dick for clicks and views, and posts it on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, I think. Actually, I think it's Instagram and TikTok does it. You know, at some point, you're going to get arrested. And Randy was. Which is funny. It was also funny that he was the one doing this as well. Like, Randy just seems to be the scapegoat for a lot of the weird shit that happens in South Park, which I don't mind, to be honest. He's a good character for all that. He's still fucking nuts. Like, Jesus Christ, like, Randy is literally the main character of South Park, just hands down. He's always involved in something. It's so fucking funny. So yeah, it's very good special. I recommend it. So next one is another relevant one. It's about social issues again, and it's about Ozempic. It's called The End of Obesity. Oh boy, what a fucking clusterfuck this special was. I thought it was good. It wasn't very good, but it was good. It was interesting. It had funny moments. It had interesting moments. This is about the Ozempic and Manjaro trend, which allowed people to lose weight with a certain drug. And, you know, there were issues with it, obviously. But I think it's really important to sort of discuss this sort of thing because it's like, it's concerning. Um, just like, fucking, what's going on here? Oh, it's just weird. But yeah, these drugs were new to the market and problematic for a lot of reasons. And it just doesn't surprise me, you know, to be honest. Like, the fact this became a thing to begin with is just surprising. Um, and I don't really know what else to say. Like the episode here just covered it quite well. Sort of special rather about how it's absurd how people want to lose weight just to look better, even though that's not exactly what's happening. Um, excuse me for the clicking in a second. Got to do this. It's not adjusting. It's great. Um, it's also just sort of the sad reality of it, I suppose. Like people think it's necessary to be at a certain weight point, but in the end, it's about body positivity, as per Lizzo in this episode. I don't actually know if I am familiar with Lizzo. I've heard the name, but I haven't heard the music or influence or anything. I don't know much. Although I'm pretty sure she appeared in Dispatch, didn't she? Or she was her own character. Could be wrong. Um, yeah, it's like it's interesting because it's sort of about spreading the message about body positivity, but also showing that these new drugs are not even fully tested or fully studied, are just a bit stupid and dangerous. That you really do not need them. It just goes to show you that there's a big problem with how drugs are viewed in this society with in terms of medication. Like the fact these were drugs for diabetes at first, and then it turns out people are losing weight on them. It's like, oh, it must be good then. But it's not always a good thing. In the end, I think people just need to be happier with their own weight, literally. Um, yeah, the entire episode follows the few plot lines here. It's like you got the perspective of Eric having to lose weight. We're going to the doctor, but they won't give him Zempic because he's not seemingly weight enough. What was the reason? I can't remember. Oh, the cost, that was it. It's the cost, yeah. Stupid American system. healthcare system. For some reason, a bit out of character, Kyle decided to help Eric get basically not be obese, and he ends up going to a strange route and making the drug himself. Yeah, that actually happened. I tried to. Didn't succeed exactly. So yeah, that happens for some reason. And then on the other side, you got Randy, who thought there was a drug party going on. He's mocking Shelley for wearing this crop top, and he ended up going to a women's party, but they also had crop tops for fucking taking up Ozempic and losing weight because of it, so showing off the stomachs. That's goofy, and he brought around, obviously, his weed because that's why he's growing, and he didn't really get to use it, but he got to try the new drug, the Ozempic, I think it was. I can't remember what it was actually. And they got hooked on it, and he did as well. And he's obviously experiencing the side effects, which is interesting because I happen to know people who've taken it and had the same side effects, which is not feeling the desire to have much food. It's like a very weird feeling, apparently. Not sure how true or relevant that is. It seemed a bit interesting to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a strange little story, I guess. But then there's the other perspective where people are taking the drug. No, that's not right one. People basically have the companies like they're picking out influencers to. Wait a minute. I'm talking about the wrong one. That was the other one. Actually, I forgot to mention that. It's like a corporate country thing. The influencer one, sort of involved in that. But with the Ozempic, there's the mascots and the sugar industry basically, who are just trying to fuck you over by selling you like sugary products and telling you to be body positive, which then in turn makes you buy more of that shit. Um, it's just interesting. Like, it's such a strange scenario as well. Like, this is what's happening literally. It's like companies are selling you not just sugar but also junk food, and I wish they tackled that perspective as well. It's contributing to many health problems, and it just sucks. Like, I can't even go more than like a few fucking miles before I see like an advertisement for McDonald's or something. It just seems so common, and yet this isn't being tackled by anyone in government. It's just so stupid, and I don't understand why it's not being tackled. It just feels like a massive injustice. And, if we can inspire people to be healthier, that's good, but you can't do it with that shit in your face all the time. It's literally temptation. It's almost again like an addiction. It's like they literally said in the episode, like the only drug we should be selling is sugar. There's also a really great chase scene in this episode, a special. Just strongly recommend you watch. It's quite funny, quite, quite entertaining to see. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on these specials. 2024, I think they were released, were they? Yeah, very good. Worth a watch. I think even if you're not into South Park, it's kind of entertaining. It's almost informative, but at the same time, it's satirical. Yeah, it's just more South Park, and I can recommend it for that as well. So let's move on. So I thought of an interesting topic, and I don't know if I've mentioned it, but if I have, I don't really apologise. Like, you fucking forget these things every now and then. And I'm noticing with just getting older, it just seems to happen more often. Yeah, I was thinking about what I've heard from the Bold Politics podcast from Zach Polansky, the leader of the Green Party. And his guest was, oh fuck, what was his name? Kieran. No, history, doesn't say. I think it's like Kieran Adu. I can't pronounce the name. Um, but he was on the Global Summit Flotilla when that was happening, and he's also a reporter for Navarro Media, which is one of the reasons he was there on the flotilla, other than a familial issue because they were Palestinian, so it's sort of closer to his heart. And I got thinking about how people are just so not really ingrained, but they suck up to the narrative that, in the case of Palestine and Israel, everyone just seems to be on board with the idea that it's Israel who are in the right here because somehow Palestine is to blame for a terrorist attack in some way. And I've looked into this, and the truth of the thing with Hamas, from what I could tell, is there was a terrorist attack. They were Palestinian, but it was initiated by Israel, seemingly. Like, there's some really weird fucking circumstances around it. And it was just. It's also such a silly thing as well, the fact that this group that is most likely separate from Palestine is like blamed for this entire fucking thing. It's dangerous. People need to understand that just supporting this narrative idea that, again, there's one party to blame everyone for this essentially happening. It's just ridiculous. Like, the big issue here is it's not even a valid excuse. It's not even a valid reason to actually go and fucking genocide an entire country. Because yes, it is a country. Literally said it was, or at least a state, but let's call it a country anyway. And it's just absurd that people are willing to condemn the entirety of Palestine just for the sake of what is a terrorist attack. Which, yeah, is not great. But how ridiculous is that? Like, one terrorist attack, and yet we have many in the UK, there's many in the US, there's many elsewhere, and yet nobody does anything. Why is that? Well, because the actions of the few don't dictate the actions of the majority. It's just fucking absurd. It's so obvious as well. That's what gets me about this. Because this happens frequently, as I said, and yet people will find whatever excuse they can to blame an entire majority for either that reason or an ulterior, or other alternative reason. And more often not, it's to do with something like religion, race, or culture. Like, myself being quite ingrained into animal rights, I can't believe what China does to animals, for example. Probably one of the worst places for welfare for animals that there is. This is from what I understand of it anyway. And just how they're viewed and treated, and obviously just bred into existence to start with. It's quite immature to then condemn the entirety of their society just for that. In fact, I condemn them more for the existence of late-stage communism or capitalism. But the fact that their communism has literally led to that is in itself dangerous. That should be a danger to everyone as well, because it comes to you eventually. The fact that they own most of the market in itself is just a danger in itself. And whilst I don't think that it's even necessarily a good reason to go to war, it's still a concerning thing there. You can't ignore it. And something has to be done about it at some point or another, even if it is probably the most destructive solution. Like, it's horrible to think about, but that unfortunately is the reality. But I'm not basing that off of what the few do. There are a lot of bad things in China. And no matter what, it just seems more and more ridiculous as the day goes by. Of course, there is a good reason to pin the blame on society for allowing this to happen and keeping it in power. You know, the Communist Party might have full control, but they might not have the power, and people don't even challenge it. Obviously, there's a lot to pass judgment there. Back to the topic at hand, though, we see similarities with the Palestinian conflict in our own politics, even here in the UK. We see this in the form of, well, specifically the Reform Party, and in the US, it's like ICE and Republicans passing all the blame for crime-related incidents off to immigrants who are apparently to blame for it. And I made a post on BullStrap before this, which, we'll speak about this beforehand. I literally said basing the actions of basing an entire society off the actions of the few is just not a good thing. It's quite ironic as well, because oftentimes the people doing this are in a majority of their own society, and they don't even turn it on themselves. Like, the fuck? I criticise UK politics all the time. I turn it on this society every time because there is a lot of problems in this society, in this economy, everything's wrong here. And there's a reason why there's so many cries for help in the US as well, because you can see it there. A lot of people there don't even like their own politics and their own policies and shit. But this is a problem. If you're willing to criticise or scrutinise another party in this matter, then you have to be willing to criticise your own, because that's just an unfair sort of call out there. It's always going to backfire. And when you see the blame being passed off to immigrants, and that motivating something like ICE, you have a big problem. That's not helping anyone. That's not even solving the immigrant problem. If anything, you've solved the immigrant problem by speaking, not by force. By speaking, because Republicans are so stupid they don't even think about actual solutions. And it's a common pattern. I've seen this back in like 2016, for example, and still Trump was a joke, and everyone who actually took him seriously ended up paying the price there, and it backfired for sure. And I just can't wrap my head around why people again criticise the minorities, of all things, for the actions of the majority. So I guess another way to put it, if people are still confused about this, is, at least in terms of UK, a lot of the sexual assault crimes, majority of which are committed by white British people, and it's not even remotely close to the amount done by immigrants. In fact, there's so few that the white British people just outweigh them, like tenfold. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. And there are statistics out there that support this. Unlike a source like GB News that doesn't report correctly. So basically what it's saying is there are so many crimes that are committed by the people within their own society, and they're not even punished. They're not even criticised, not even scrutinised or anything. There's such an injustice there. Literally, it's just absolutely stupid and dangerous. And as I said, there's an irony to it, because when it comes to the majority that are committing these offences, nobody's even pointing to them. Nobody's saying that, oh, you know, fuck Palestine, but fuck us as well. Like, nobody's saying that. And that shows the extent of dishonesty and even disinformation that there is. Like, everyone wants an excuse for blaming someone else but themselves for the problems they are causing. It is literally scapegoating. Yeah, that is dangerous. That's a dangerous ideology. It always has been. So, I don't know what to add here, but that's my thoughts on that, and that's what I think on this topic as a whole. It's extremely frustrating, because we do want a better world to live in, I'm sure of it. But people don't allow it because for some reason there's a bias. For some fucking reason there is a bias. And people want an excuse to discriminate against people that of a different skin colour, different race, whatever. Country of origin depends. It's just absurd. Absolutely unbelievable and despicable behaviour. Really should go without saying, but it needs to be said. So yeah, I don't know what to add here, but I'm increasingly frustrated by this topic as the day goes by. This is why I stopped looking at TikTok recently. It's like, it's completely infested with fascist, bigoted content. And there are people even proudly claiming to be bigoted, which is in itself a major rights concern, because we shouldn't be enabling this. Like, it needs to be criticised in itself. Like, to admit you're wrong and say it's okay to be wrong. Like, that's not a good thing. That's going to fucking tear society apart. It's going to tear people apart. You know, if everyone did that, guess where we'd be? We'd be in Communist Party China, literally, because that's what will most likely happen. You believe anything they say, you would suck up to the billionaires, which they already do here. They already did in the US, rather. Not everyone does it now, but they did. And yeah, it backfires. Just, it's a complete fucking joke. Absolutely massive joke. And I just can't wrap my head around this shit. Seriously, it's just disappointing. Yeah. So I don't know what to add, but that's my thoughts on this. I think it's important to point this out. Yeah, I'm gonna move on. Got stuff to do. And something else to do. Okay. Let's go. Okay, another shitty sponsor, it seems. Suspicious one like that. I was expected to make this, but sure. I think I'm gonna have to. So, I was watching a Young Air video about the state of Epic Games, and the sponsor of that was BullStrap, and this reeks of just the agricultural industry bullshit. Just them trying to sell you animal products thinking, oh, it's a good thing. So all the reviews are on the same fucking thing. It's stupid. Looking for it, there's no alternative to leather. It just seems like they sell only leather products, which is fucking weird. Some of them aren't even labelled. Like, a lot of this just seems useless, like a bottle opener, case or something. Magnetic thing? What? What's reserved for this magnetic holders? 100% real leather, yeah, literally. And that has to be animal agriculture. But the only thing going for this is the nav safe thing, but the price of this is fucking absurd. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? It's literally a scam. It's $89, which it's $9 to GBP. It's £65. Like, that's fucking absurd. And meanwhile, my what's that thing in the wallets that stops tracking. I can't remember, RFID blocking? Yeah, I think it's RFID. But my wallet only costed £20. Stark contrast, and it doesn't have a, the navigation thingy. But it's so much more functional. It's got 2 fucking zips. Like, at least like 20 slots and stuff, and it's a reasonable size. It's not even massive. It goes massive, but it holds everything I need it to. This scam is still a thing. It seems like they're still trying to sell you complete bullshit on the internet. And let's see. Hide sourced from Europe and northern United States. There's not even a good carbon footprint. Chrome tanning process. 4 grain leather with natural variation texture. Yeah, all that. You killed an animal for it. That's not going to age well. Let's see what else there was. Lightly buffed and dyed with water-based dyes. It's probably not going to last either. And also, look at the pictures. It looks like it's not already fucking lasting well in that. Jesus Christ. I've seen leather products and used even a few in my time, and they often don't last compared to a faux leather, which does last, and yes, it does deteriorate like normal leather. But this is not a fucking dead animal. That's what I come back to with that. Polished to achieve a 2-tone colour effect. So yeah, it's just more bullshit. Wait, look at the wrong wallet. It's not. Oh, it is an safe one, yeah. For some reason, I wasn't sure there. It's like, it's so shy. These products just do not age well. I did sort of comment on Young Year's video about sponsorships a while ago, just warning about having products that won't age well, and this is what I'm talking about. When you promote consumables or products that contain animal products itself, and also are just stupidly expensive, you don't really win anyone over. Weirdly enough, one of the only products that so far has lasted me, even though I haven't used it properly, is probably Ridge Wallet's flip key case. That did cost some money. I can't remember what it costed actually. But I got that because the alternatives weren't that much better. It seemed a bit lazier, and apparently Ridge are willing to essentially give you a free replacement if you do end up breaking it. So it's interesting. So where's the fucking thing? I'm trying to look for the transaction, but for some reason I can't find it anywhere. Anyway, we received your order though, guys. The other UK one. £55, that is a bit expensive, but it's lasted somewhat well. Bit of more improvements to make. But it works. I think you could probably find a good alternative, to be fair. The main reason I wanted one is because I'd seen it everywhere and I just needed a new fucking keyring. I was fed up with the old, like going through the fucking keys and dangling it and shit. And also it just poking into me. That was one of the worst things. So I wanted something that literally wouldn't poke into me when I was sitting down or even just walking. And it provided, which is surprising. It's been over a year now and I've still got it, or maybe 2 years actually. It hasn't broken, it hasn't gone wrong or anything. I do find it hard to pick out the keys sometimes, that's the only issue. But I'm able to treat it as a keyring. I've also got my own little danglies on the other end of it, which aren't pokey, by the way. But it does its job. That's not really a product worth investing in unless you use it sort of thing frequently. So yeah, I just wanted to complain about this. Really, it's just BullStrap reeks of just animal agriculture, animal lobbyists rather, animal agricultural lobbyists. I'm not sure what the actual term is. But, it seems like it's funded by them because it's expensive as fuck. And given that it's claiming to be real leather, like premium leather. That's even more of a warning sign in my opinion. Yeah, obviously don't buy into this shit. It's a load of garbage, it's a load of bullshit. It's not gonna help you, it's not even gonna do its job, probably. So it's obviously not worth it. So, yeah, just wanted to complain about that. So I have heard about this South Park episode and I didn't forget it because, to be honest, it's quite an unforgettable one. Season 27, episode 2, Got a Nut. I find this episode not only interesting but entertaining because it literally exposes the bullshit happening in America in like three different POVs, I think. Three, maybe no, maybe just two. I think I'm overthinking it with that. Um, it starts from episode 1 where South Park has to be more sort of pro-Trump rather, and then they're going into, in this episode, the prevalence of obviously right-wing podcasts, which are utter bullshit usually, and also the ICE bullshit. And you can probably guess where this is going. But what I love about this episode and what makes it among the best for the series, in my opinion, is that it has a good message at the end. A seriously strong, good message there. I do find it interesting that they decided to go that route because I don't know if any other show would do that. I don't know what Simpsons are doing at the moment. They have to be addressing this somehow, don't they? Oh my god, it's a hell of an episode, and it's really entertaining. I probably won't explain it all. It's really one you need to go watch yourself. I wish they had it somewhere easily accessible online, but you know they're blocked in the UK, so I don't know what to fucking do about that. So it's frustrating. Yeah, with enough my nuts too high to address it, but the episode just goes into the budget cuts which happened from the prior episode, and they're using that to pay for the lawsuit against Trump because they settled on $3 million. And they have to cut funding for the school, and then it turns out Mr. Mackey is being fired for it. And also, Clyde is starting a podcast about debunking supposed lies from, women and the Jewish community about their involvement in the place itself. It's interesting. Yeah, literally, again, it's like talking about the right wing bullshit that seems to commonly occur in these podcasts anyway. I can name probably one or two, maybe even three actually, I think about it. But yeah, they're such garbage, and also it's referencing Charlie Kirk in it a lot. And with the ice stuff, it's mainly talking about Christian Noam and obviously ice. Yeah, that was a really interesting perspective as well because she pretty much nailed what the requirements are. Like, you go in for an interview, it's like, I'm just trying to make my nut. You're hired. And I think the most important part which I have to discuss is probably the ending where Mr. Mackey obviously is part of ICE in this episode and ends up becoming the face of Homeland Security because Christian Noam is a freak, like physically and mentally. Well, more physically, apparently, to Trump in this episode. And he realises that it's all fucked up because Satan's in bed with Trump. And JD Vance is acting like this is normal as well. So it's like, oh, that's certainly what's happening at the moment. And it's also a good conclusion that Mr. Mack is trying to find a way out and ends up finding, I think, underage girls. I could be wrong on that. I swear the women in this look underage. Like, I don't know, what age, like 14, 15 maybe. That's very fucking interesting. They went with that as a sort of helpers in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, helpers, probably against their own will, but I don't know. It's a very interesting thing going on there. Yeah, Mr. Mackey finds Clyde, who won the Charlie Kirk Award for Young Podcaster. It's so fucking dumb. It's clever. So they end up leaving because Mr. Mackey has a change of heart and realises this just isn't worth it. It's not worth basically making it or not by doing something that makes you sad. That's honestly a really good message. Like, seriously, it references even a lot of other things out there. Like, fucking hell, like, look at Israel versus Palestine. That exactly addresses that too. Because no doubt a lot of the people in the IDF are doing it to either have their way with something or say just make their nut. I'm guessing that nut means their disposable income, possibly, or what they're spending per month. I could be wrong on that, because I'm pretty sure nut is a made up term. Yeah. It's quite a hard hitting episode in that sense, sort of the nature of obviously everything's going on. And I think that's why it's so good. It's brutally honest and even goofy for that matter. Especially like the part where they fucking do an ice raid in heaven to get all the illegals in there. It's just, oh my god, it's so fucking good. Yeah, let's move on. Another frustrating story. I've only seen just a bit of it, but it often brings me back to this question about what the fuck can we even do about this to begin with? And, you know, at a fundamental level, as much as we can throw money at things to try and solve the problem, it's only going to do as much as the mindset and the way of thinking in that. So apparently there was a kidnapping caused by, well, Roblox, because they're literally complicit in this. And see, the person kidnapped 2 children. This person was 19 years old. And to me that reveals a concerning issue with regards to not only just the age of these people, but also how the fuck this even happens to begin with. Like, how do you go from just entering adulthood to going to fucking kidnap children? Like, what the fuck? It literally makes no sense. Like, I keep trying to wrap my head around this because it's just bothering me. How do people this young even do that? It just makes me wonder, like, what can we do about it? As I said, with my own trauma around this, yes, I have unfortunately witnessed something like that in the past, or not kidnapping, but abuse. And there are often malicious reasons behind it, but it's also, from what I could tell from research, it's literally how people's minds work. It's almost like fundamental to that nature, like an inherent trait, I guess you could call it. And at some point we have to address that. So I'm often thinking we're not going to change anything and make things for the better if we don't address this problem to start with. I don't know what it's going to take, and there are definitely uncomfortable truths to be found in that. Unfortunately, we're going to keep seeing victims all over the place and having to give them help all the time because we don't actually address this problem. It's so fucking scary to think about. But it's just human stupidity that really adds to this problem, in my opinion. That's where we start to see the failure of not just the justice system, but the world in general. We start to see it fall apart entirely. Because the world doesn't seem to listen, doesn't seem to want to listen. Excuse me for the noise. Yeah, kicks that under my table. There are like so many problems here we need to address that unfortunately don't involve the victims, even though they are important and we need to help them. Nothing's going to change if we don't stop the source of the problem. This is unfortunately true for a lot of things in the world. It isn't just this occasion. This incident, rather, occasion, that's what the fuck I call it that. It's just everything else. Every other crime, every other injustice. There's a reason behind it. And we need to actually understand this. Because nothing's going to change if we don't. This is what I struggle to wrap my head around. What is it with people wanting to find the quickest way to justice rather than the most sensible way? The most morally correct way, for that matter. Sort of similar to what I've said with Insomnia in regards to the new Epstein files. If you're wanting to enact some justice, make sure you fucking understand what you're dealing with. Because you don't even know these people, for starters. And you don't even know what they're like. Like, literally, with some of these problems we've seen, especially around Epstein, you know, it's literally something that could be fundamental to their being. Like attraction to children, which is itself a problem, but needs to be addressed. Fucking sucks, but that's the reality. The harsh truth. I don't like people who are attracted to children. It's fucking awful. But there isn't much that can be changed unless we actually start looking, actually start researching, start studying even for that matter. I'm pretty sure there are studies on it because I've read them. But nothing's going to change if we don't do anything. If we just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Arrest after arrest, or shooting or lynching after whatever. Like, people seem to think death results in something, but it doesn't. It doesn't scare anyone. And instead you just make them incentivise that even further. Good job. Like fucking peer pressure much. So it often makes me wonder who's on whose side here. You know, I literally do have people's interests at heart. And like, say I was someone that's fucking attracted to children. Like, down in my heart, I don't actually believe that violence is the answer. But I only say this because I literally want to get rid of it. Like, if I was in that situation myself, I'd want to get rid of my problem. So, the easiest way for me, obviously, would be suicide, but I'd actually offer myself for study, literally, and even medication for that matter, just to see if there's any fucking solution to it. It fucking sucks to be in that situation. And much like some of the other things in life, I just wouldn't wish it on people. It's probably one of the worst feelings in the world as well. It's just probably indescribable. I don't know. But it sort of reminds me of exactly like a LGBTQ plus to an extent. They're not the same thing, to be clear. But in a similar vein, literally, you can view these people as being marginalised, which you'll take that as you will, but that is unfortunately the reality. As I said, there are uncomfortable truths. And whether you agree with them or not, they are literally marginalised. But I don't know how you can agree or disagree with an existence when it's right there in front of you. Again, I can't wrap my head around this shit. When I think about things that keep me up at night, that's one of them. Scary to think about, but that's unfortunately the reality. So yeah, I've got to move on from this topic. I've got some fun coming up actually. So obviously stay tuned for that if you like a fun topic about food. Tried something new and it's kind of interesting. So I tried a new food recently and I was kind of surprised because of how good and how bad it was. Weirdly enough, it's like both worlds. It's just got a bit of both things happening. I was going through Waitrose the other day, because I have one sort of near my town, and it was interesting. I don't really go there often because it's expensive as fuck, but I wanted to find some new things, and there's like still veganuary. I was wondering if they had something. It turns out they did, but I don't know if it was for veganuary. I don't know if they even did anything for it for that matter. Didn't notice anything else new, so it really demonstrates that. I go to the sweet section every now and then to see if there is anything new. And somehow there was. I'd never seen it before, or at least never noticed it. They had Turkish delight. I've heard of this a lot over my years of being alive. Sort of being not really a sweet fanatic, but kind of like sweet things anyway, sweet dessert, snacky things. And I was curious to try it because it's labelled vegan, obviously. And it usually isn't. So, fuck it, give it a go. Time to try something new. And I just tried it today. Just put it open just to see. It seemed to be covered in flour. I don't know if that's normal. It seemed normal to me. Like, why the fuck are you covering it in flour? I think it's flour anyway. So that's bizarre. I don't even know what it is actually. Let me look it up. Fucking. What is Turkey delight? Also, I wonder if it originates from Turkey. Somehow I doubt it does, even though it's got the name in it. Turkish delight is a family of confections based on jollof starch rather, and sugar. And you get premium varieties. Okay, place of origin. Apparently Iran and Persia, or Ottoman Empire. So, yeah, that's interesting. So I was kind of right, half correct. Originated from sort of Iran and sort of Turkey, I guess. Yeah. So Turkish delight then. The one I tried was lemon and rose, well, two separate flavors. Tried the lemon one first, and what the fuck? Like the initial taste is good, texture not so nice. Then the texture I don't like because it's chewy, and it reminds me of steak, like my horror story with steak eating. I like steak because it's too fucking chewy. You can't even bite through it. It's just stuck in my mouth for minutes. I don't even see the point. It's so fucking annoying. But yeah, I like steak. This is also a bit annoying. It's um, it's weird. Can't describe the texture very well. It's like a softer version of steak. I guess it's like weirdest point of comparison. I don't really have bubble gum or chewing gum, so I can't compare it to that. I suppose the closest thing I could compare it to is like Starburst. Obviously, Starburst when you moisturise it, it does become more stretchy. Yeah, if you put between that and obviously texture of steak, which again is fucking horrible. Yeah, I didn't like the texture. And then the taste, as I said, the initial taste was good. But as I got through it, it started to taste sour. Like, really savoury sour. I don't know what the fuck that was about. That's so bizarre to me. What the hell? Is it supposed to taste like that? Just very weirded out by that fact. It doesn't seem normal to me. So, I did spit it out, but I just took it and just swallowed it. And I thought, like, this is unusual for a lemon and rose flavour, and I looked and it seemed like they were coloured like yellow and red for some reason. Um, yeah, so I tried the rose one, which was obviously the red one, and this was nice. It didn't actually have a savoury flavour at the end, which is bizarre. It was the same texture. I definitely prefer this one. As for sweetness, though, it's kind of interesting. I think in terms of sweetness factor, it's actually quite high. That's a weird thing about it. It does feel very fucking sweet. I remember sitting there after I tried it for the first time here, and it just Yeah, like I feel it making my mouth that uncomfortable sort of sweetness. I don't know how to describe it, but that's literally what it feels like. It's so strange to me. One of the strangest experiences I've ever had. Um, Especially with like a sweet treat, dessert thing. I don't know what you call it actually. Yeah, but I guess overall I'm okay with it. I think I could eat it if it was offered to me, but I don't think I could eat much of it because of the sweetness factor, but also the chewiness. I did worry about my filling as well, having that, because you're not supposed to have sticky stuff with it. But I suppose you can't really avoid it, especially if you've got fucking filling of all things. Yeah, hopefully it was a nice pace breaker from the last topic. Fucking hell. Um, yeah, it's just one of the weird things, I guess. Quite, I'm not really a foodie, but I do divulge into trying different things. Literally, I change up things every time I do something. But the only thing I don't change is my like vegan milk stuff when I have my drink in the morning. And also like my breakfast sort of elements. I still have overnight oats, have raisins, like nuts if I have to. I don't add it if I have peanut butter. Um, I had psyllium husk as well to sort of help with digestion. Also have frozen berries. Also have milled flaxseed. That's the other thing. And the milled flaxseed is interesting. I can actually process that, which is good. Uh, yeah, that's just another topic, I guess. Let's move on. Just a random thing. What? Thinking about watching the Pokemon anime as they still host it on Twitch and it's entertaining. Um, I find it interesting because it's such a good anime for the action more so than the story because the stories are kind of mixed, but the action itself is always amazing and the animation can be too. I remember watching Sun and Moon when that first came out, and I was just consistently surprised by how good it was. Even the story was actually good. Probably the best Pokemon story there is. It's just so consistent and so real feeling. It's like the only time I've ever been impressed with a Pokemon story. But it got me wondering, why the fuck don't the Pokemon games have an anime style battle system? By that I mean having it so that you can have combo moves and have counteracting some really interesting things. Like you think about a move that's kind of niche, maybe like I don't know. Trying to think of a move actually, like fly maybe, and you need a way to defend against that. Well, you could probably pair it with some other fucking move, maybe even an attack move and a direction as well. So it kind of like so it sort of collides, but also acts as a defense. I think it'd be really interesting to have that sort of style, but I see it with the ability to double team in the anime quite often. It's where they use it to do another attack, essentially, or attack multiple times, as well as confuse the enemy. And sometimes there's a counteraction to that, which is like attack all of the double team sort of clones. It's just so interesting that you can sort of do that sort of thing. I don't know if it already exists. It's been a long time since I've touched something like Pokemon Showdown, for example. Man, that'd be so fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's such a good idea that I think if it were possible to do, people should do it, and it'd probably get a lot of support. It'd be pretty cool, especially as people who like the anime, like myself. Um, so they consider trying it as long as it's not attached to Nintendo. Like, fuck, Nintendo and Pokemon Company for matter need to fix that shit. Yeah, just an idea. it gets done at some point. Well, this was weird. Um, so I was just watching a streamer who just come online, and they're flown to Blizzard HQ for some reason, and then seemingly were paid to react to the Overwatch Spotlight, which I decided to watch from the the stream itself by Blizzard, unfortunately. And my fucking god, what a disaster! Because I thought the audio issues were to do with obviously the streamer. I literally thought it was them, but no, it wasn't the issue. Which is rare, because it usually is a streamer. But this time it's actually the fucking stream itself, although this has happened before, I'm pretty sure of it. Ugh. But what a fucking weird scenario. Um, so, I watched the stream directly instead, and honestly, the first thing I wrote, I've got a few notes here, because I'm not really into Overwatch anymore, and I'm just tired of it. It's fucking boring, garbage, slop now. I just can't stand it anymore. It's garbage. Overwatch 2 ruined it completely. It ruined all the casual fun, ruined exploring new heroes. It just ruined everything. Even ruined like skins and stuff because with at least the Overwatch League and stuff, they started having FOMO skins, and then crossovers, as we've seen in recent times, become problems in itself. And yes, that is FOMO. If you remove it from the game after a limited run, that is FOMO. Doesn't matter what it was fucking for, it's still FOMO. Even if it's a Charlie Cone or maybe not that. But you know, it's still fucking FOMO. How many times do we have to say this? So, I got some notes, as I said. At the beginning, scene seemed like hospital room. In the hospital room, I mean, it looks like AI to me. I don't know if I've seen that wrong, but it looks like AI. What the fuck are you thinking? Like, literally, like AI. I saw the fucking eyelid just glitch out. It has to be AI. But what the fuck are you doing? Why are you using this? It's so stupid. Like, it's not even the stupidest thing that could have happened in this. So, the other thing I noted is the fucking art style is just getting a bit stale. Like, this character who appeared, Onran, can't remember if that's her name, it's probably someone else actually, it's a recent sword hero. But she has the same face of everyone else. What the fuck? How are you just this bad at designing a character? Like, the art style is very distinct in its own way. It's cartoony in a sense, but it's just, after so many years, you have to do something different. It's just so dumb. Yeah, I can't really distinguish her face from anyone else. It's like she looks like everyone else up close. So I'm not sure if I'm on board with, to be honest. There's not really anything distinguishing. There's not even a mask. There's nothing. Just real shit. Um. So yeah, they go into the stream a bit more after this story thing, and they announce that this is season 1. Immediately, my gut feeling's like, nope, this ain't good. This is going to be a disaster, and I'm expecting it to be. Just wouldn't surprise me at that point. Because, again, what the fuck are you thinking? I don't understand why you're calling this season 1. It doesn't make any sense. You have a battle pass, and that has seasons on it. You're just going to confuse players even more. So that was already confusing. It's like they're making a new game or what? But it's so hard to fucking tell what's going on. It's just disappointment after disappointment. And then what else did I write? Let's see. Fuck, where am I? I forgot to open my. These are ones that have a good feeling. I can't remember what else I was going to say there. They announced some things with this as well, and they said there are going to be 10 new heroes this year. Do I even need to say why this is a bad idea? I don't think I even need to fucking elaborate. But I literally said it at the end of the notes here, hero-flation. That's what it is. Because it's literally just fucking inflating garbage with, yeah, more garbage. We don't need more heroes. If anything, it's such a broken system because of how there are so many heroes in the game already who probably aren't even balanced that well, haven't played in a while. It's just bad. And looking at the new heroes, it's like, none of these make me even want to come back to the game, even with the later review. Well, I'll explain that when it gets around to it. So, yeah, like the 10 new heroes is a bad idea. Not to mention having to make them different each time is a bit weird. I just find that a bit bizarre to me. How the hell are you going to make them all different? At a certain point, you're going to start making the same things over and over again, the same kits, same gameplay. It's just not going to be any different. It's terrible. So what's the next thing here? Here these story arcs. Don't think that was a bad idea, but at the same time, we asked for this years ago. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, it's the 10-year anniversary. But then, why couldn't this have come sooner? You could have had the conclusion on the 10-year anniversary. Talk about incompetence. So yeah, here's a hero that I wasn't expecting, but still not on board with it. A cat hero. Yes, they literally added a fucking cat to the game. Couldn't even give the cat a name. It's just a jetpack cat. Who's apparently Brigitte cat, if I saw that correctly. What? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I get the kit is actually the only fun thing about this, but it's literally pandering. You know, Marvel Rivals, I'm pretty sure has animal heroes in it. Well, what do you call them? Like Marvel people. But it's like they're pandering to so many people here, and this is obvious with the random sort of quote unquote humour, which it wasn't, which just spread out the live stream. You know, the Gibraltar thing, the quiet thing. Like the Doomfist one, they gave me a chuckle, the Doomfist slip rather. But that's about it. And yeah, the meme as well, the thumbs up one. Just Jesus fucking Christ. But I do think like one of the worst things about this stream as well is probably the chat. It's like they're doing like according to one chat, a woke limit minded. I don't even know what the fuck that is. It doesn't make sense either. It's like they're actually complaining about this game being too woke, even though it's always been woke. Like, oh, I got fucking news for you, dumbasses. Yeah. So yeah, the cat hero. Yeah, literally pandering. Again, people love animals. I do. But whenever I see animals in a game now, it's like this has to be pandering. It just has to be said. Because now we're going to obviously see this as a opportunity for a cash grab. Because people will fucking buy it. That's the problem here. And that's not obviously a good thing. So yeah, so I've been a bit out of the loop with Overwatch 2, so I don't know if this is correct or not. But loot boxes are back, and they're probably still shit. One of the biggest problems in the first game was you got duplicate and you only got like 10% of what that's worth towards a new skin, or like 20% actually. Yeah, 20%. I remember now. It's like Legendary gave you 200 coins for some stupid fucking reason. Should have been more. And for some reason, seasonal items costed a lot more, which again is scummy. See, I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but they're adding new boxes again and they can't even monetize it properly. At least without fucking up. So it's not good in my opinion. I'd prefer a battle pass, but the problem is they also pair that with microtransactions, and that's also not good. In my ideal scenario, just a microtransaction store where even limited items, or supposedly limited, can appear. It's just so dumb to have a loot box coming from a season pass system and microtransaction. Again, the solution is just microtransaction. Have a storefront, that's it. Buy it with direct money or currency. I prefer money, to be honest, because it usually says what it is. But fucking hell. It's like they rely on people not doing the math, but they underestimate that. Yeah, that's pretty shit. And then they announced a collab again, a crossover collab thing. Overwatch X Hello Kitty and Friends. Yep. About that. Why? Like, what the fuck even is this game anymore? That's the thing, I saw like the Transformers one and thought kinda cool, but at the same time, I don't know. It's just so bizarre to me. I'm not really a fan of this idea of collabing with whoever. I don't think it really fits the Overwatch theme and universe for that matter. It's not really worth it, and I think if you're going to have a game like that, it just needs to be a game without an identity. Like, literally like Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite is the perfect sort of, not necessarily story, but it's like the perfect sort of way to execute that. Because it's not really a game that's too close to the story, as far as I know anyway. It's just there. You've got characters with no fucking backstory. And, yeah, sorry. They can allow you to build up on that from it. So I'm not a fan of the collab. It's a bit stupid. Even if I may be a bit partial to it, it's still not great. And then I'll say revamping the menu, not much to say here. It just seems very much like pandering again. Then, yeah, the memes like that. And then they announced something big at the end, which was dropping the 2 from Overwatch 2. Yikes. Just fucking yikes. Like, what are you thinking? We said this was stupid from the fucking day it launched. If we would have done this within a year of that fucking release, people would have been happy with that. And I would have been. But you've taken too long to do this. Like, it's so fucking dumb. And not only that, you've replaced Overwatch 2, like Overwatch 1 rather, with Overwatch 2. So nobody could access Overwatch 1, back when that was a thing, the 2016 version. And also, how the fuck are you going to do this in, like, stores? How are you going to do it in, like, a YouTube algorithm when you mark a game? I don't understand the logic here. It doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, it's probably one of the best changes they could have done. But why does it take so long to make this decision? It's like they don't even listen to the community, and this is the problem. I'm not going to come back to a game that doesn't listen to its community. That's just stupid. Just a fucking death trap. You're not winning anyone over with that. And if anything, you should have just stopped the game at 2. That's it. Like, just be done with the fucking mistake and go and make a different game. It's just so stupid. And I don't even know why it's still going. I'm pretty sure like nobody's playing it anymore. So I haven't seen many clips from it. I've seen shorts of it from time to time. Some of it can be funny, but again, it's lost its casual nature. You know, it's come a long way from 6v6 like tour matches to whatever it is now, but I'd argue it's for the worse. It really pandered to competitive players, and that's what made it terrible. On top of that, they keep forcing fucking skins down your throat, which yes was a appeal for me. It was one of the attractive natures of it. But once again, why? Like, this is stupid. You really do not fucking need to. I don't understand that. I'd rather play the game without skins. I remember playing just Overwatch by default as a. When I was playing Overwatch 1, obviously, I played it without skins sometimes, and it was actually a far better experience. It's just like, oh, I don't actually care about these, and even though I see everyone with them, it's like, I've got my own sort of default here. And also, it kind of makes you look like a smurf anyway, so that's a funny thing. It's when you own someone in the default skin, they think you're cheating. Had that happen a lot, actually. That's a weird thing, it's like no skins equals hacking. Stupid. Anyway, one of the last things it did as well is add some engine updates to update its graphics, because even though I noticed back in Overwatch 1 that the graphics were a bit dated here and there. You know, some textures not high enough quality, and certainly some like lighting aspects not great. When I was taking screenshots on that, it was kind of difficult to contend with some of the shit on there. But anyway, um, I finally ended it with a let's make a great game. Yeah, no, you're not doing that. I saw people in chat saying Overwatch is becoming like Marvel Rivals and Valorant. And I probably have to agree with that based on what I know of them. It's like Valorant has a very sort of Counter-Strike coded thing with obviously the hero elements. And I'm pretty sure like the kits allow for very strategic things there. And yeah, I can sort of see that happening with like especially Jetpack Cat. Even though it's a more versatile one compared to Valorant, it's still something. And the Marvel Rivals aspect, again, it's like the skins and the hero releases. Like, they're literally competing for that, and you know, at this point, I'm still not fucking gonna play it. I just don't give a shit anymore. It's not worth my time. And also, fuck you to all the streamers who chilled for this. Like, go fuck yourselves. If I don't know, do I unfollow this idiot for this? I don't know. You know, it kind of reminds me of the South Park episode again. Keep bringing this up. The one I saw recently, anyway. Yeah, like literally the one about you're not. I can't remember what it's called. Gone further than that. I don't know. It's something like that. But yeah, like literally, it feels like that scenario, and you know, it's not worth it just to make your nut. Like you're selling out for this shit. For this shit that nobody plays that you don't even play. Because yes, if you're someone who doesn't even play it, just it doesn't make any sense. And then again, this is a live service, and they're doing story arcs in a live service. Gee, what other game did that? Concord. Oh wait, it's dead. Like High God, isn't they doing that? High God is dead. Like fuck off. It's so stupid. It's a game that really deserves to die out. They're not convincing anyone at this point. Definitely haven't convinced me. It's just not appealing in the slightest. I've got better things to do, better things to play as well. Deep Rock Galactic for one. So I'm gonna switch over to that game now and play that. So I don't have a fucking heart attack. So let's move on. Well, I just finished Southbox season 27 and 28. I finally caught up, and well, I think it's going to be a while before we see the next season. I think. Actually, it's 2026, so yeah, we're actually going to possibly see that quite soon. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out for it. I think I'll put it on my list of things to watch, but I need to do a big review for this. I think, and I think I'll do it impromptu in a separate video. So, um, so yeah. But anyway, this season's 27, 28. I actually remembered it this time. Let's go through each of these. Now, these were different styles of writing to an extent. It's a bit more ingrained in current events, and I think it's also quite important as well. I think there's a good message there. Let's see, episode 1. I thought this was a good episode. Although at the end, I was glad they went this route because typically did this sort of stuff before. I still have fond memories of like entire lot of Osama bin Laden and stuff. It's just fucking goofy, and yeah, I'll say that was brilliant. This time they're making fun of Trump, Vance, and basically the entire Trump administration as a whole, and just corruption in the government. And yeah, not a fun topic, but they make a fun spin on it, and I think it's certainly very interesting. Um, Then episode 2, that gets a bit more interesting. There's like stuff happening. I thought it was a good episode. Yeah, very good episode actually. Um, but I fucking love the message there, like from Mr. Mackey. So spoiler: if you're doing something you don't believe in, just gay or not, you just get sadder and your nuts get bigger. Your nut gets bigger, not nuts, but fucking hell. But I really like that message because there's a problem with the current climate today, with how people go around trying to get a job with something that's not even moral or legal for that matter. It just gets so fucking out of hand that at the end of the day you just have to wonder, like, do you even care? It's like if people suddenly took to child trafficking for some fucking reason, which they no doubt do anyway, because this world is so fucked. You know, that's what people will do just to get their money, essentially. And that sucks. It's a dark thought, but that probably does happen. Um, so I think this episode's kind of important for that reason. It's not often not worth it because of the consequences, and again, just end up wanting more. And then we go into episode 3. Let's get away from that. It's a good episode. Very bizarre, but very interesting. Stuff around AI and stuff. It's somewhat important and relevant. Uh, yeah, I think it's good. Episode 4. Well, I was somehow tired. I got a good sleep last night, except a fucking nightmare that came out. Jesus. Yeah, the nightmare was pretty bad. Fucking hate those nightmares. It's when you get trapped. Like, you're in a situation where you just see no way out, and it's like, oh, you're fucked. Yeah, not fun. No, that's just my place in the script. That was like episode 4. Good episode. Yeah, so about the boo-boos. And I think it has a very interesting sort of thing going on there. So glad to see that Lou Kim is still there. And also, surprise appearance from his wife. Yeah, you don't see her often in these episodes, which is odd, but you get to see her here. It's just good. I remember her debut episode pretty well. It was pretty fucking good. And then we go to episode 5, the finale of that season. The conflicts of interest, and I think it's a pretty good episode too. It's very good, it's funny, and it's got a good message. and I won't spoil too much about it because it's something. And then we go on to season 28. I think, honestly, in my opinion, this one's probably slow down a bit. Slows down a bit on the things. There are some very weird things happen. Episode 1, it's just like a very good episode, in my opinion. Um, just a bunch of strange things happen, like PC Principal is fucking weird. 6-7 stuff is also weird. God, it's quite funny though. But it's interesting. Um, yeah, there's not much else to say about the episode about spoiling. Wait, it's still episode 1, episode 2. Oh, it's randomly labelled it wrong. Okay, hang on. So, episode 2, yeah, very good episode. The woman in the hat. I saw a clip of this, it's like, oh my fucking god. Just no way. It's so goofy, and yeah, it still sort of hits hard, I guess. Uh, that's one of the things I do sort of find interesting about this. Like, even though this is like a full like bunch of seasons dedicated to dunking on Trump again, which I already did by the way. They still somehow find ways to make it extremely entertaining and interesting. And so I think this episode really puts that into perspective, and also just gets really close to stuff that's like collar tugging. So, oh god. Um, yeah, I forgot to say like in the previous episode, I don't mind the usage of the words still, like retard and faggot, or fag. It's one of those things, it's like free speech, but I don't know, like, they did say in like another episode about using those words means to validate use of them against people in a derogatory way. And within enough, they've just completely U-turned on that. So, yeah, that's interesting. But I think my stance on it as a pansexual person, again, if these are meant to offend you, then don't give in. I think when people use these words to offend you, you just shouldn't fucking give in. So I could just drop the N word, and it's just like, yeah, I'm not using that to offend, but people who choose to be offended will be offended. And obviously, I do think it's a bit childish to also respond in a way where you're offended. I'll just be straight up honest about that. I do think that's what's happening. Anyway, that's spoken enough about episode 2. Episode 3 is a very good episode. And this one is interesting because it addresses AI. I didn't make a separate video on this, but it's just a very funny and entertaining episode about the dangers of AI. And yeah, it was very fucking weird though. Like I didn't expect the characters to appear in that. Like literally, like the most unexpected characters you could ever think of appear in this episode, which is just so weird. Like, I can't get over that. It's yeah, that's something else. The fucking hell, what the hell? Especially the guest appearance at the end. I haven't seen that show specifically, and oh, I've actually talked about it. The reasons I don't want to watch that show. I could say like the reason, and you'll probably know who it is when you see the episode, but my reason for not watching it is there's not really an LGBTQ plus character or episode for that matter. So I'm just not really that interested, even though it seems like a very friendly and comforting show. It's just not got the representation, even though it is sort of representing in other ways. And also, like, species, I guess, as well. It's like another important thing. It's like showing that there are different races and stuff, but that's another thing. But it has a long way to go, in my opinion, and that's my main problem with it. So yeah. Episode. Yeah, episode 3 is a very good episode. Episode 4, Turkish, very good episode, I think. Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff going on, and it's also just the goofiness of it all. It's just, fuck's sake. they literally make fun of anyone on here, and it just doesn't. It doesn't matter who it is. It's kind of crazy. It's typical Mandarin stuff. I think if you're not used to that, then I don't think you ever will be, because it's fucking yeah. I don't really know what's out there. Yeah, I thought it was good. There wasn't really a message. It did show the stupidity of just the world and just sort of fucking characters in general. You could even argue that the characters that we see in politics is just something else. They're all characters literally at this point. And then we go on to the final episode, which I don't think was as good, but it was good in other ways. It's very quotable. So very interesting things happening. There's sort of a song, which is different, and it's an interesting twist at the end. I did wonder, like, I had a theory on this. The one beginning of E, let's say, was the baby, but I don't know. Like, I sort of had a theory about that, and the twist that happened at the end, I don't know if that mimics it or not. I don't know, but anyway, that's the end of the series, really. I'm all caught up, and it's been really good so far. It's been really good. Like, there's not much else to say. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say on this. Seance? What? I don't know. But I should probably move on and make the review itself, and it'll be improv, because I'm not sure if I feel confident enough to make a script. I'll just go on my head off something like that. Anyway, that's the topic. Let's move on. Yeah, so I was just watching the Twitch Rivals event. The streamable, I think. Actually, can't remember. Fuck. But you know, there was an interesting part there in one of these games, mini games, where they teased someone being the host for it. I didn't get their name, so my bad. So I'll just say person. But this person was just in drag, essentially. A guy dressing as a woman, basically, and Twitch chat usually is quite tame, but for some fucking reason, like 90% of the chat is just filled with WTF and you. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, where did this suddenly come from? Like, somebody has to be behind this. It has to be AI as well. It's just fucking nuts to me. Like, do people really not know what drag is? It's fucking bizarre. And he had some dollars in there, most likely AI as well, saying, why are you forcing this on children? Like, as if children are watching Twitch Rivals in the fucking afternoon in the US. Like, what a fucking joke. I really do not get that. See, I'm like very weirded out by it. I don't even know how to react to this, but drag has always existed. It's existed for fucking decades, maybe even 100 years. Like, probably hundreds of years, actually. It's just absurd to me that people act like this is something that's not normal. I don't know, people fucking go in drag all the time. So I just do not understand this reaction. I do not get it. How dumb is this? Just felt like talking about this, but fucking hell. There's way much to say. Drag has always existed, that's it. Like, good fucking luck when you experience it again. So OBS appears to have a problem. I don't know what it is. It seems to act like it's got all the memory it needs, but doesn't. Weirdly enough, even now, FL Studio's open. OBS is like the lowest, but FL is like the highest. It's like, the fuck is going on? Like, there's more being used in FL Studio than there is any other application. It's so fucking weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Bizarre. It's kind of worrying as well because that's 96% of my memory being used. I don't know, but this wasn't supposed to be about memory. Let's go on down there. Fuck, it hurt me. It's fucking weird. Yeah, for some reason it like doubled and half itself. So, I wanted to talk about the Genshin Impact 6.3 stories. There's been a lot of reels here in Acts 7 and 8. I watched Brian once again because I think that's the only place I can find the videos for on these. Yeah, there isn't much to say, but I've got a bunch of notes. What's going on with my mouth? It's really fucking weird. Let's start. Here we go again. Here we go to confront the Doctor. And already there are two harbingers there, also we think. God, I can't read this for some reason. Also Final Fantasy stuff for me, so that's annoying. I wasn't told about it. Tutorial right there, question mark. I'm not claiming, I am stating as one of the quotes he said. Yeah, I remember we're going to rescue Columbina. That's what was happening here. Give a caption, now confused where it is. Someone got crying about the traveller going missing is kind of unexpected, but also kind of not. Kind of expected, I mean. Although that technically is what I would say. So the Doctor has overstepped the boundaries, question mark. I didn't realise Dottore was the guy in the manga. I read that ages ago. So Androni is on one today. Fucking call them Paimon the baby of the group. For fuck's sake. So everyone was captured by Dottore and into one of these worlds, it seems. Not everyone, as it turns out. Dottore makes us question if we want to be in a dream with no pain or harsh reality. Okay, Dottore showing either what it's like to have Goldhood. Dottore really trying to get the traveller to on his side rather. So Columbina knocks over the horse, and Columbina thinks that time is flying backwards in this place. Technically, Dottore has left the floor there, right? She can guide everyone to remake a memory which leaves the rescue operation open-ended? Question mark. They found Columbina's message too late. Center only thinks there's 4 moons. Oh shit. That Paimon has some interesting patterns. Paimon leaving stuff behind is interesting. The way can stop time, or is it Columbina? The story detecting Nefer is kind of scary. And then I noticed Bran here said says that Columbina and Nicole are the same person. Now I think about it, her trial to let them in, it kind of makes sense that they are. Columbina from the future, maybe. I don't think that's actually true, by the way. Columbina interacted with Sandroni, which is interesting. And it's strange how I can't remember how you say it, the Narcissism Institute from Fontaine is getting quite a few mentions here in these quests. Yeah, like, it should have been a main quest, as Brian keeps saying. Fuck's sake. Well, start Traveller trying to escape by stabbing Dottore in the back, and then getting attacked, then rescued by Wanderer. Mouthful. Then Jehoda Varka moment, that was quite funny. Varka saying, why don't we hug it out? Columbina meeting Varia in that place, it's kind of scary. Apparently Dottore raised Varia. Columbina wanted to give the abridged version. Oh, sorry to film this. Sorry for yawning, I can't help it. I did get a good sleep, but my body doesn't seem to think so. So there's not much they can do about the situation. I wonder if his story is planning an attack or becoming a god. Is Wanda seriously offering his power to Sandrone? Cullen being a meeting another moon goddess is interesting. Sonnet is a name. And then there's Orion and Cullen. And then there's Nibelung's prison. And a lot of interesting reaction to the law. Like, wait, the gods sent down the nails to punish civilizations. I was trying to remember where they came from. Or where they landed, rather. I'm pretty sure some landed in the chasm. And then probably some elsewhere as well. I don't remember exactly where they landed. I'm not sure about that. I have no idea what the theory for the next patch would be because Brown brought it up. But if I had to guess, it'd probably be to do with Paimon or Dainsleif. You know, those are still pretty open-ended. In terms of like all the lore we've seen, you know, there's still Celestia, there's still Sneznoia, still Signoria. Is it Signoria or is it? I might be getting them mixed up. So that's it. So not necessarily Signoria. And was she that lady at the end who kidnapped the sibling? I can't remember. We still need that. Still need to meet the sibling as well. There's also, like right at the end, I'll spoil it, but there's a hint that the Tory is possibly still alive, which is weird. Like, after all that, okay, so just to pop it let's go back to the notes. You know, that's my theory anyway. There's so many different things it could be. Nifra is going in again at risk of losing their sight. Columbina is sacrificing herself, question mark. I mean, Goddess is having the touch of the abyss, which is weird. Don't know how Brandon knows that. The story fight is unexpected. But I do love the skybox in this. Really interesting. Sandrone saving Aoife is unexpected. Well, Sandrone is dead. Music is good here. What is this plan? Columbina being summoned? Question mark. The moons are really interesting. Columbina is back. I know the snack thief. Going to a destination? Question mark. I don't believe in endings. Quoted by Columbina. Yeah, like they went to the moon. I forgot about that. I didn't write that part. But Columbina and Aoife went to the moon. Or Traveller, speaking. But yeah, like Bran brought up something as well. Like, how did the ship get on the moon? Like, we did see it flying away from Tevat for some reason, but we didn't see who was doing it. It's kind of confusing about who maybe did that. My only theory, I guess, it might be Paimon. Like, she might literally just be trying to keep Traveller as long as possible. Which is why she ends up appearing so needy as well. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Like, their relationship is so strong that she just doesn't want to be apart. It's sort of been hinted at by the numerous, you know, Travelers sleep side by side with Paimon. Also, just the amount of interactions, obviously, Paimon speaking on his behalf, or their behalf. Yeah, I very much think that it could possibly be Paimon, of all people. If not, it'd be the mean, but those are the only two I think it could possibly be. I really don't see it being anyone else, and I only think it's Paimon because she's obviously got a lot of secrets around her. I don't think it could be anyone else. It's pretty much impossible unless outside of like the realm of the moons and stuff, like obviously above Columbina. That's like my only theory. I really do not see how it could be anyone else. It could also always be the Tory somehow. I don't know how though, because it seemed like even something he didn't know about. Like, does he even know about Travis' sister or sibling? I don't remember there being a moment about that. You know, he's always been interested in the Traveller, but I'm guessing the reason he always took interest in the Traveller was because of his abilities. I thought that was interesting. But anyway, Columbina about Rhinos was an interesting moment. And Brandon said that the story's changing, the ship flew over T-Vat supposedly rather than landing and somehow getting out. I'm not sure about that. Again, I just think it's someone moving the ship, trying to obviously get it away from the traveller. Also, it could just be a case where maybe even Columbina just moved it for him so that it's safe, and she knew that there was some significance to it. So that's why she did it. I could be wrong, but that is another theory of mine. Um, and the new traveller outfit is pretty cool. And it turns out, according to Columbina, the traveller's power was restricted. What? Like, all these fucking years, the reason that traveller's always been shit is because his power was restricted. And you know, there's like this talent system now where you can invest in each element, give it more power, supposedly. But like, what? I'm just so baffled by that. It's just so dumb. Like, as much as the outfit's cool, the power system needed a rework all the way back then. Simple as that. You know, it needed to be sooner. I didn't write this in the notes, but there was an interesting moment with Varka talking about Mondstadt. Did he say he wanted to be locked up in solitary confinement, like Kleebles? I found that kind of interesting. Also, it's a bit weird that we didn't see the Hexen circle at the end. I just realised that. I didn't really see any communication. I think there was a bit of Alice at the end, briefly. You know, there wasn't really any like, oh, you did a good job, or oh, it's all over now. It's kind of interesting that. And then at the end, I didn't see it properly, but someone said that story is possibly still alive, which is weird. But I have seen like thumbnail theories. Again, I call it thumbnail theory because there's people spoiling the shit in the thumbnails. I've seen a theory that it's to do with Dotori being like in a machine, which is it kind of makes sense. I guess doesn't make complete sense, but it does sort of explain how he's able to be like in multiple places at once and also just know everything. He is essentially in a machine. Yeah, it does sort of work out. Um, so yeah, that's all the notes I have. Um, I'll stay up to date with this. I think as much as I can. I'll see if there's a new brand video and then react if I need to. Because yeah, I've just subscribed to brand. To be honest, even though the sponsorship is kind of shitty, I do think in terms of like the content he's putting out and also just some of his points of interest as well. I think he's one of the better Genshin content creators out there. Certainly interesting. But yeah, that's my thoughts. So let's move on. So yes, I've heard about Genie 3. At this point, it's literally just that meme. Babe, it's time for your daily dose of AI slop. You're Sony. And this, again, is more AI fucking slop. It's just. I don't really have the words for this, but again, I warned people. The warnings were there. The moment this all started. And nobody listened. So now everyone who supported AI, other than essentially condoning like child porn, because yes, that's what they're doing with it. It's like there's so many fucking sickening things with it now. And not just that, but generative AI, and now Genie Live 3 was it? I can't remember what it's fucking called. I'm also like 90% sure they chose the name because Game Genie was a Sega Mega Drive thing. The nostalgia will probably get people interested in it somehow. I don't know why. It's a weird fucking choice for a name, but I guess it's like at the same time they probably chose it because it means obviously your wish is your the command. Well, I don't know what you call it. You know what I mean? It's like getting a wish from a genie, but that's what it's probably called now. Yeah, I'm not all happy with this, and yet I'm not surprised. This was going to happen anyway. Just from the fact that people are still supporting it and finding excuses for it. And you know what's really sad about this as well? It's really fucking disgusting. Suddenly we don't have a journey anymore. This is what Wally was warning us about. Like, it sounds weird to bring it up, but the movie Wally was actually way ahead of its time. It predicted this shit. It predicted the climate catastrophe, it predicted how we'd have to leave our planet to survive essentially, and then we become so lazy because of all the technology that we just have no journey, we'd have nothing left in the world that's meaningful. And you know, ironically in the movie, I still remember this quite well. It's like when they found the dirt, it's like, hang on, this is unusual. We've not seen this before. And it turns out that's something from another planet. It's used to obviously create life, to create plant life, and they support an ecosystem. They realise that they've screwed up, so they literally go back to Earth to actually plant this thing. To plant this plant, whether they found this soil. And it's actually just re-inhabit Earth. But my fucking god, it was way ahead of its time. And also all the technology is just making people lazy. That was like the big sticking point for me. It's like, I wouldn't even want to be in that situation. Being in a fucking hovering bed all day, fat and lazy, no exercise or anything, nothing going on. And everyone just seemed like lifeless and bored. There's nothing going on. That's the future we're heading towards. Again, it's scary. I don't really know what else to say here. Other than I told you so. So with that said, let's fucking move on. So, I started Squidgame again because I haven't seen it in a while. Well, I've seen season 1, and that was quite a few years ago. Admittedly, I wasn't that impressed, and I'm not rewatching that to be clear. But I didn't finish where I left off, like when it first came out. But season 2 is already been and gone, basically. So I gotta watch it and see what the fuss is about, if anything, and then see season 3 after. Fortunately, I can't find a dub, so I had to try and somehow multitask the sub and do artwork as well. And it's been quite interesting. Um, so there's been some things going on in this first episode of season 2 that I'm quite interested in. Yeah, I remember last season the guy managed to escape the island, the first season rather, managed to escape the island and be on his merry way back home with some money, it seems. And he's trying to find out who's behind all this, just to stop these fucking games from happening. And he tries to locate the recruiter first, who's like the first big clue for this, because obviously the person who's behind all these games are doing evil things, and so they're obviously pulling strings behind the scenes and causing a lot of issues. That's where I think June is it, the main character, main guy. So yeah, he just fucking goes searching for him and makes a policy for it as well. Eventually finds the recruiter, who's a complete nutjob. Like, so fucking crazy, but I would admit it's like the first bit of crappy character writing. Because it's easy to make someone bad based on just the past or just how they are as people. I just find it so fucking lazy. Like, they made him as bad as he could be. It's like tricking the homeless into getting a lottery ticket or bread, trying to treat that as if it's a reasonable choice. And of course, every homeless person wants a chance to fucking get money, so yeah, it's just kind of a bit like made this character absolute scum. And they track him down, and the two guys tracking him down get caught, and no surprise the guy actually has some fighting skills. So that happens. And even with these fighting skills, they stand no chance. Um, yeah, eventually they go to the fucking hideout that he lives at or something. I get them to play rock, paper, scissors with each other, which is interesting. Quite brutal. But it's like playing Russian roulette with whoever loses and who just doesn't obey the rules. And yeah, eventually one guy dies. I don't know what happened to the other. Didn't see what happened to him. Just sort of cut off from that scene. And there's also a police officer investigating June when he sped off, and he's quite curious about what's going on. Found his little secret hideout about locating this recruiter. There wasn't really anything else there. Wasn't there anyway? Did that guy randomly came in? Did the officer arrest him or what? I didn't actually see. I can't remember. It's a problem watching the sub. It's like you see a scene transition and it's like, oh, did we just miss something? It's like, I don't know, I'm too busy watching the fucking subtitles. That's why I tend to watch the dub. I can't really find one, which is annoying. So yeah, then we go to the Pink Motel for some reason. Somehow, the recruiter is there, fucking playing Russian roulette with June. Like, June obviously arrives and finds him there. Like playing Russian roulette and just having this fucking weird discussion. And I sort of knew from the beginning that this recruiter guy knew what he was doing. And he also suspected like something to sort of, go wrong or happen. So he'd obviously planned this ahead of time. It was obviously so well planned that he knew what could go wrong. And it's also what makes him kind of a fucking scary character. So yeah, like they're passing the gun around. There's obviously 6 cylinders. One of them has a bullet in, but I know for certain that he's played it enough times to know that he could potentially rig the game against him. But he tried to portray it like he hadn't, in a way, like by letting 1 5 letting June go first, so he would have the 5th one, so that he's not lost. He's not the one who gets the death. So it's obviously like rigged in a way, but not rigged against him. So he sort of suspected that on the 5th bullet, he might actually try to shoot the recruiter. That's literally what I predicted, and that didn't necessarily happen, but I was right about the bullets. He's played it so much that he actually memorized it. Pretty fucking crazy. So yeah, that's something that happens. But they have this discussion, somehow June wins, and then the recruiter shoots himself, knowing that he's lost. Like his bluff didn't work and he actually lost. But then again, I would have been curious to know what would have happened if somehow he had he noticed that June was about to aim the 5th shot. There's always kind of that chance. I suppose June maybe was aware that he could lose this at any moment. Yeah, I don't know. I would have said it was a good first episode, just overall. There were parts that could have been done a lot better, I think, and also the fact it's not done made it kind of hard to follow at times. So no doubt missed parts of it. They're important. I do have a lot more in my notes, just for the record. But it's sort of hard to balance that. Trying to do many things at once. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that really. Overall, I'm kind of impressed. It's a bit different. There's obviously Squidgame, where the whole gimmick is like these games in this really fucked up sort of facility on an island, it seems. So this one's sort of more involving the nutcases doing it. Yeah, just not strong impressions, but impressions were all this. Let's move on. And actually, let's just make an outro, fuck it. The last one, so let's come off a while. Yeah, thanks for listening.